any fish in the grind?
Just Barbie's coming out with.
Yeah, because I sat in his synagogue
In
in Elkins
Philadelphia?
Park, and you know, they had buckets there.
Is that in
White
Philadelphia?
part,
Yeah.
not in Philadelphia, but
Ready for pictures? Remember last time we did this, Mark?
Yes, sir.
It was nice.
No.
Did you give me a
Elkins Park
copy?
is
I got it. Well, I don't have a copy, but my mom does.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna give you a copy of this if it turns out nice. Okay?
You gotta have it.
Yeah, we gotta have it.
You know how do you have a copy?
How's your landscaping business?
See, you're the most beautiful one here.
Why you do this?
How's your landscaping?
The landscaping's going really well.
Benjie.
Yeah.
You're gonna be a millionaire?
No, well, I might be a hundred. What would you say it if you only make hundreds of dollars rather than millions of dollars? No, I'm not gonna get rich on it.
Yeah.
You got a girlfriend now?
Yeah, Sophie. Her name's Sophie. She's about
Yeah,
she's brown and she's about 6 inches off the ground.
He's worried because you didn't bring her over.
Oh, I see.
Aren't you, sir?
You ever see Millie Jackson?
Who?
Millie, I got it.
Actually,
Has she ever show up at Lake?
no, she's been in Toronto lately.
Didn't I tell you that to sing?
She was in Toronto.
Did you go?
I didn't go. No, some friends went.
I grew up with a kid that named
There lately. Didn't she
when I was there with
Well, I'm gonna have to go inside. This is
Yes,
good.
I said.
I gotta get everybody in the picture, especially my handsome dad.
It's still.
What would be a family gathering without somebody with a camera in your face, huh?
Hey, Wood.
Except it puts a damper on the conversation.
Offer scholarships to undergraduate food, including room and board.
This better be a good one.
And you have to be a national merit semifinalist. And
Oh, there's beautiful Helene. Everybody gets camera shy.
so they've been able to recruit some
Do you want the pickles cut up? I did. I have one cut up. Yeah. This is Mark. This is for Mark. It's a real pickle. I've got it. Is there room for at the beginning? Yeah.
Everybody say hello.
Hi. Hi. Hi.
There, see now I didn't take pictures of you when you were at our house, at her house.
Well, I
What was the matter with me?
It's so much
Yeah,
nicer.
this is all, yeah.
Oh, they're great.
This is all,
They
they
really
really are.
We saw Harold's birthday party.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Harold's birthday party. It was strange.
You had it from Milford. Right. It is nice.
Here's the food untouched. I'm gonna take a picture of it afterwards.
how's your life, Benjie?
Actually, my life's doing pretty good. I must say, everything's going very nicely.
It's coming.
Things are very calm and nice for a change. Nice to see you too.
I'll tell you the bad parts later.
You want a contest? Yeah.
You have a video.
I have an audio.
Audio. Well, that's an audio video.
No, it's just an odd. Okay. Which one?
With the mother on it. Your grandmother on it.
Oh, the one where she was, sleeping?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
That's what he wants.
Oh, you want a copy of that?
Yeah, you promised us one.
You
that's-
promised me that.
I want
you to do it all. That's gonna be his birthday present.
All right. Well, who else wants one?
Mel, you guys want to eat?
Just one?
Bob, are you electronic whiz?
Not at all. Not at all.
Lee wants it if you
If
want
you
to
show
share.
me how to work it.
No, I have to just take it somewhere and have a copy. That's all. I just have to have it copied. Milt.
Give me a copy.
Milt.
Kirby, do you want to eat this? Everything's on the
There's a.
table.
Well,
I don't care who gets them, but I won't.
I'll just like go like this.
We'll pay for it.
And you tell me how much it costs, otherwise I won't take it. Okay?
money and
For you, Benjie.
I'm doing great.
I want a kiss. I don't want a hug and a kiss.
Okay.
That was funny. Okay. Oh, good, I hope so. We turn, can you keep one? Benjie, is she sleeping?
Somehow you must have made it, you must have backtracked and come back up here, right?
Did you miss the turn?
I know, we came down from north. We didn't stay at a place south of
Yeah, well,
Yeah,
we
no,
saw
we
you
were
on
behind you
198.
all the way till you turn up to this
Oh,
road.
you're talking about, you must have
Yeah.
followed us on 198.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh, I see what we did. I always lose this road. So what I do is ride a couple of streets beyond on the
Then
main
come
drag, make a right turn and come up this way.
Okay, well, no.
Hi, Micah. Hi, Micah. That's okay.
There's Benjie, and there's Sophie.
Hi, Micah. Hey, Sophie, come here.
See how great Sophie's getting? Come on, Mike. But it was a little shock to me.
Micah, did you find some lollipops in that tree?
Janie's a pen. Yeah, she's a
Here, Micah. We're putting the lollipops back in the tree.
and then John got these last year.
What color do you like?
It does. She does.
You like red lollipops, huh?
She talks a lot. Especially right before she goes to bed and she answers.
This one.
Here, let's see, maybe put it, stick it in like that. There.
Micah, what do you got there? What do you got? You got a lollipop?
Huh? You're gonna put it in your mouth now? Is it gonna put it in your
Yeah, I
mouth?
mean, she.
Yum. Hi.
Doggy, Uncle Doggy.
Uncle Doggy.
Oh, you're giving me this? Okay, that's very nice.
There's no birthday cake, no room.
Oh, I'm not happy you did that.
Would she pour that in the beer? Something.
Beer.
Hey, you've got a green tongue.
Drink it, huh?
Your tongue is green.
Let me see your tongue. Oh,
How do you say tongue?
Are you a bow wow?
How do you say tongue in Spanish?
I don't want to sit. No, don't.
You sure? Want to take a little walk? No, but I do.
And how would Micah know
She's
what you were
mixing
saying?
I can say
Oh, Micah.
your tongue is verde.
Right, verde. Mike, are you?
Micah, no.
No.
This is no good because you mixed
Look,
two
you want a
things
cookie?
together. It's disgusting.
Here, look. You don't like it? She had too many sugar, too many suckers. That's my favorite. That's my favorite.
You know why she put that down? Because everybody told her it was good.
Oh, she wants a lolly.
No, my
No,
God, that's
all
all
gone.
gone.
All gone.
All gone. Hi, guys. All gone. Say hi, Benjie.
Oh, look at Benjie.
Here he is. Say hi, Benjie. Tell him.
Hi, Micah.
Do you remember Benjie?
You want to sing when the sun goes down and the moon comes up? Okay, here. When the sun goes down and the moon comes up. Hey, baby, come on.
Micah will shine. Micah will shine tonight. Micah will
Come on,
shine.
dance, Mikey.
Micah will shine tonight. Up and down the line.
She doesn't miss her papa.
Micah will shine tonight.
Kick your feet. Kick your feet. Come on, make your feet
When
go.
the sun goes up
Come on,
and the
make your
moon
feet
goes
go down.
down. Micah
Will
will
shine.
shine.
She heard it with Yay! What are you doing? Daydreaming. When the sun Oh, no, see, when the sun goes down and the moon goes up. Hey, baby, yaddy, daddy, 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 da, da, da. Uncle Jim. This is what my father sings. Uncle Jim. Hey, baby. Yeah. Corn. We have to cook it. We have to cook it. This part's garbage. This part is garbage.
You want me to see him? You want me to speak to her in Boston?
Yeah.
It's raw.
Hey, baby. This is what she does with people.
Hey. Oh,
Oh my God, she's leaning on me. Quick!
Uh-oh, I got her. I got her.
I'm telling you, my daughter's.
Oh my God, she's like a brick. She's like a ton of brick.
I gotta get up. She takes up her finger. Yes, she is. She is built. She is built.
I like that.
I want to get up.
Huh? Get a saw.
It's a family.
Sit down first.
Okay, put your leg over here.
No kidding. That's because I'm short, Benjie.
Uh-huh.
The reason.
I'm glad I got it on film.
Oh, thanks.
Oh, you've got all the
She's going into your pocket. I don't know what you have. A piece of candy?
Put your hand in there. Her mommy
Hey. Something for her?
Peach. Here, you want this?
I'll put you in the
Kids always notice people right away.
Isn't it funny?
When I was student teaching and I had a bit on my face.
I remember.
Sophie, go swimming. Go get the ducks. Go on. Go, 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 go. She says, well, it's got to be a good reason.
When he does, he's tireless.
Go get it.
Go on, Sophie. Go on. Hurry up. Go on. Go on.
Sophie,
She's playing it safe.
Sophie, you're built like a canoe.
She's a terrible swimmer, but she can swim.
I grew up with a miniature dachshund. Half the size.
My first dog was a dachshund.
I love that
As a little kid.
You better take it easy, Tony.
Yeah, rest for a little bit. You're making me tired. Rest for a minute. Oh, look at that. Goodness. Poor Sophie.
Go on,
I
Sophie.
really want to go, but I'm not sure.
They still live there?
Little prairie dogs
Yeah.
in the tunnels.
What's in there, Sophie? What's in there? Go get it. Go get it. What's in there? What is in there? Go, go see.
Look at the tail.
What's in there? No, no, no. There.
That's funny.
You're gonna
That
get
really
stuck.
is.
Go get it. She sees a hole. What's in there?
They are hunters, aren't
Uh-huh.
Yeah, they were. They're badger hounds. That's what dachshund means.
Uh-huh.
they? That's what it means?
Yeah. And they were bred so that they would go into the burrows, and the hunters would. They were bred with really strong tails, so if they got stuck, the hunters could pull them out by their tail. Sophie, what's in there?
Ducks means badger.
I'm pretty sure. Go on, get it. Get it. You bored already?
Where's Francis?
Hey, Benjie, look closer.
Hey, don't feed her.
He said, I'll have one soon. He didn't say how soon. Oh, real soon?
You look like
You want a hot dog? The maitre d'. You have that maitre d' look to you. Want a hot dog? Sure.
What do you want on your hot dog?
The whites. Sauerkraut. Chili. Yeah, the other kind. Oh, I know.
What is the other kind?
When she graduated. Oh, law boards. I thought it was thinking of the law, the law. Yeah. The law school. Oh, okay. I thought, because I'm thinking.
Don't give him mine.
Oh, this is after college.
Here's the hot dog, chef.
No, she's waiting. Hers I have
I'll give you another. Yours is a custom job, is it?
Although it looks like it's getting too.
So how many years did you have to go to college to learn how to cook a good hot dog?
This is 12.
12 years?
Yes.
Well, that's good.
Internship.
Yes.
It's like then 4 years of residency, and then you have to do a fellowship.
And what about the insurance? Do you have to carry a lot of insurance to cook hot dogs?
Yes, and the tail is very important.
Anti-cardiovascular insurance.
Thank you.
It's like the Zen. It's a Japanese art, the Zen of hot dog cooking.
There's maybe one in there.
That's all right.
I'll take one.
Want a hot dog?
Yes, please.
Too bad.
Third one you eat?
Oh man, I couldn't walk down her steps. I'm afraid he's gonna throw me up.
She sat on the stove. Our dog flew down the steps and over her head.
I don't like it. He's like your father's nervous dog.
Rappy?
Yeah.
It's a miserable.
God made a mistake when he made rapping.
When we're walking, people say, "And what kind of dog is yours?" And I'll say, "A Cocker Spaniel." And they'll say, "What kind of dog is yours?" to my father, and he has this big grin on his face with a big story coming out, and I say, "A mistake." It's real insulting.
You know, this is going to have to be edited. This
Oh,
tape.
this is camcorded?
Yeah.
I hope you got enough pictures of my daughter.
Oh, tons of them.
Where your daughter went? She left. She's down. No, she's with Bobby and Barbara. She fell in love already. She fell in love with Jack. She worked him up for so long. Yeah. I mean, she tortured him.
Just went over to find that.
We stayed at a place.
Can I put the rest in here?
I just was going to ask you a technique.
And then we need
Ask me a question.
Bobby to stand behind.
Well, let me think. What do we want to talk about?
About the family?
Yes, we want to talk about the family.
Yeah.
And what would be nice would be...
I got the best family in the world.
Well, I know you do.
If you could just make a story.
Wonderful. I have wonderful sisters.
Yeah?
Yeah.
They,
Especially Hannah Rojo.
Hannah Rojo? Who's Hannah Rojo?
Miss Ann.
Miss Ann?
Miss Ann.
Miss Ann. She's the boss.
Oh, that's funny, I'll tell you. He says especially Hannah
She's the
Rojo.
boss.
She said in bed, she says,
What's the matter, Ann? Ann?
She's a matriarch.
I laughed.
Just, you can just talk, but I'm just wondering what you looked worried.
I'm worried. She's worried everybody's not in it.
She's worried
Oh.
that Harold will not
Everybody
be able
will
to take
get
care
in
of the baby down at the lake.
Oh no, that's going okay.
And Mr. Harry.
Let me get a panorama.
Who? You. You're loaded.
Loaded.
Yeah.
Yeah, right, I'm loaded.
Harry, before I focus on you, I just want to I want to give everybody else a chance.
Excuse me.
Oh my God, he'll never talk about a chance before.
No,
first of all, it is true that the singers are a very modest family. We never
Very.
blow our own horn.
That's right.
Unless we have, and when we do have something
You know,
to say,
Benjie, did I tell you the story?
that is flattering,
Yeah.
we have to
Harold, we're
preface it
waiting
with
for
an
you.
apology.
What's
And
the matter with Bobby?
That's the design of new cities.
We want you there.
And I don't want to talk unless I
Here,
have.
sit beside Melvin.
I want it to be me.
Look how they ordered. Look how they ordered their.
Hey, Irene. You look nice.
Sit down, Harold.
You can say whatever you like, but I just wanted to tell you you look really nice. And I'm glad you're here.
You're glad I'm here.
Yeah, you look nice.
Yeah, thank you.
I want to tell you a story about Irene.
Okay. All right.
We're leaving it all.
You want to hear a story about Irene?
Yeah.
Well, when I
Hey,
was
Ben,
little,
you want to hear a story about Harry?
apparently she had to give me a bath.
Yes.
Gee, you remember that far back?
Yeah, I'll tell you why I remember. Because she was so mad, she would scrub me up and then put a lot of soap on my neck and go like this. Yeah. Yeah, I remember that. She'd go like this. No, that's a short story.
Oh, Irene told her.
That is a short story. Now, Mark, what were you going to tell me?
I was going to tell you a story characterizes Harry, a moral to the story, and that is the bird story. There was a little sparrow sitting on the telephone wire. He was very dejected that he hadn't eaten for 3 days, and he wasn't singing. And well, along came a horse and left the plop. So he flew down and he filled his belly, and he was very happy. Yeah. And he went up. He got a lot of seeds in the plop. Sure.
Yeah.
And he was on the. Now he was singing real loud, as loud as he could, because he was happy. And the hawk heard him. And the hawk came down, swooped down, grabbed him, and that was the end of that sparrow. And there's a moral to the story. When you're full of shit, keep quiet.
That's my brother.
Thy elster, shame on you.
He's full of shit, you know.
No.
Why you? Telling about my stories about
Not really.
I don't know. How about you, Edie? Do you have any funny stories short?
They can be long.
Short story.
What?
Tell a growing up story.
Yeah, from us.
So I used to carry you.
Oh yeah, did you
my
ever hear?
shoulder.
Wait a minute, don't you remember when Sylvie had a real high? No, Melvin was it? Melvin had the high.
Story.
No, just a minute, I got it now.
Oh, that's my story. Don't tell that Melvin story.
Melvin had what?
She was running a very high fever.
Yeah.
And she, and then Melvin was running the high fever, and he came to the steps, and he says to me, we're sitting on the steps, Rhoda and I mean, Sylvia and I were sitting on the steps on Longroad Street, way up on the steps, and he comes over and he says, Rhoda's making potty, and his eyes looked like, he was in a high fever. This was Melvin. He was in a high fever, and he's telling it to me. And Sylvie was doing her night work. She was afraid of everything. So the books fly up, she says, it's a ghost, and she almost falls down those old French steps. And I took them, you really, when they have that kind, it was like a nightmare, So I took him by the hand, and I says, come on, Harry. I said, let's go. And he took my hand, and we walked into the bedroom. And I made him go, Melvin, and I made him go back to bed. And I sort of soothed him, and he finally fell asleep. That was the story.
No, wait.
Haven't been the same ever since.
He's the one that he gave us all kinds of stories.
Is that the reason?
See, this guy here, it was the time of our sister Kate was getting married in New York. Mother left me behind to take care of Melvin.
Yeah, he was running sick.
Melvin gets another high fever. And here I am. I put him to bed,
What
see?
were you doing, Mommy?
And I had a date beside the bed somewhere. And I thought, what the hell am I going to do with him?
Where'd you think you got it from?
So I get a doctor in because my mother was in New York.
Probably needed an enema.
Well, the doctor said he might have this and he might have that. Well, anyhow, he fell asleep. Next morning, my mother came,
she surmised there was something wrong in Pittsburgh, and she fixed him, and he was better.
Now, how did she fix them?
I'm not going to tell you what she did to him.
Yes, she did. Takes it right down. That's the treatment for high fever. What are you talking about?
Because Melvin,
It worked perfectly.
Melvin, you must have been bullshit.
Yeah, he was.
And his fever went down.
This is dessert time.
Dessert time. Yes, that's
You
no
better go
dessert.
in there and bring some
That's eating.
No, I don't want that corn.
I want to ask a question of my father.
He sneezed all over the corn.
Throw it away. Write it off as a loss.
Put it on the fire. Put it on the fire and burn the germs off. I have a question. I have a question of Leona or my father about what your impressions of the Singer family was when you first
About Herbie.
No, absolutely not, I won't say.
Oh, come on.
Oh, Harold.
Oh, come on.
Damn bad, huh?
All I know is that Edie said, you better be a good cook.
Yeah.
Oh.
Did I say that? I don't remember.
I remember when I brought her, first time I brought her home, not for dinner or anything. Why didn't we invite her for dinner? Anyway, I brought her home.
Go ask
Mom. Invite her for dinner.
And who was with Eddie Goldenberg?
Yeah.
When we were upstairs, we lived in when we were in St. Marie Street.
Wait, don't go. They want you to say something.
Yeah, Pop.
All right, hurry up.
Pop got her drunk on wine.
Really?
Yeah, she was. As a matter of fact,
What was that kosher sweet one?
And then she'd go down to Milt's house and
threw up down there.
Gloria took care of her.
He kept filling up my glass.
I can tell you my impression of the Singer family. I thought all the women were lewd and wanton. Because I came to their house, they were running around in slips. Nobody in my house ever ran around in a slip.
He never saw his mother in a slip.
No, my mother.
Let alone a brassiere.
I thought my mother was born with a kimono.
Did you like it?
What?
Did you like the transfer?
I was a little frightened.
Well, you were.
Yeah.
Very shy, yeah.
She didn't like the way we talked.
Very shy, but he
They said the word sex.
He was only 18 years old.
They never said talk about how you used to like have the different rooms when you came home from days.
What?
Yeah,
Remember how you would check to see who was home?
Who, me?
All of you.
No, nobody checked. We just came home.
We came home.
I was the worst one. And I'd come in at like 4 in the morning and creep up the steps, and I knew every creak. And I would go to this step and that step. I'd have my pajamas in the bathroom under the sheets. And I'd get to the top of the stairs, and there was Pop.
Yeah, I got a good one to tell you.
Yeah. I reminded her.
Yeah. You know, we were, this was before Herb. I had a girlfriend. I had a girlfriend that made a date for me, and, you know, he wasn't Jewish. Not that they wouldn't do the same thing, maybe. But anyway, I want to put that straight. But anyway, I go out on this day with this guy, and the girlfriend of mine that made the date, she has a date too. And we're in a car, and we went to a very, very, really nice place to have dinner. And seemed such a nice guy, and we were dancing afterwards. We had a good time. We get done with this, and as soon as we get back in the car, he's heading the wrong direction. So I said to him, where are we going now?
In the car or the car?
No, in the car.
In the car.
She saw him going.
Well, you know, we're supposed to be going home.
Was the car going in the wrong direction, or was he going in the wrong direction?
Well, I've been saying it. All right. So, yeah. So anyway, so what happened was, see, she's offering the corn that was sneezed on. The corn that was sneezed on.
Anyway, what happened?
Well, so what happened was, all of a sudden we're up in the Highland Park, you know, in some deserted area, Lover's Lane, some deserted, and I didn't realize, but he says,
He was after you, Edie.
yeah, he was well, you know,
shy. Oh my God! Well, anyway, he made a pass at me, and I told him.
Did you gas it?
No, he kept.
Did he make out?
Well, he was trying to make out, and I bit his hand. He wouldn't let me go. So he slapped me, and I went from one side of the car to the other.
He slapped you.
Yeah, and I'm thinking to myself, boy, and I didn't even know where in the hell I was, because it's so dark up there, you can't even find your way out. So I opened up the door, ready to get out, and this guy kind of was like this, and he grabs me back, he says, "You ain't getting out of here like this." He says, "That's right," he says to me. "I'll tell you one thing," he says. I said to him, what did you think that I would... No, I said to him, "Do you think that you have to get paid for having, taking me out for dinner?"
What did he say, yes?
No, he says to me, "Well, what the hell do you think that I would take a Jew out for if I didn't want something afterwards?"
Oh, he got that all backwards.
No, I didn't. So what happened was, I thought to myself, I said, "You better take me home, because if you don't..."
I'll call my brother
I
Harry.
said, that's what I said. I said, "I have a brother who'll beat the shit out of you."
Which brother?
This one. So I get home, but I forgot my key. And my blouse was ripped open. My hair was disoriented. Everything was wrong with me. But I hear him coming down the steps. Now we had a house that had steps that were hardwood floors, and you could hear.
Baywood Street?
Yeah, Baywood Street. Don't you remember that, Vincent?
Sure. No, yes, I remember.
Well, anyway, when I knocked on, I thought,
Oh, yes.
yeah, I did, and I recognized his footsteps, and I thought my father would come down. Boy, he'd kill me. A noise fire, he would call it.
With a torn blouse yet.
Yeah, with a torn blouse. Well, so anyway, so I get to that, and I thought, boy, what a good thing this is. He's coming back. I know Harry was there, and I wanted to give this guy really something he wouldn't forget. So as he hears me, I rang the bell quietly, or knocked on the door, and Harry comes. He looks outside, and he opens up the door, and I swung at that son of a bitch. I hit him so goddamn hard that he almost fell down. And then I walked right into the house like nothing happened.
You didn't need Harry.
And Harry was there. He
Is the
says
guy
to me,
still living?
I don't know. I never looked him up.
It's never too late. You can get him.
Harassment.
Well, Harry.
Rape and all that.
You know what I said? I said to Harry, says to me, "Where the hell were you? Christ, you look like somebody mauled all over you." I said, "That's right, brother." I said, "But you know what? He was so nice. He brought me home to the door." And I really.
You were scared.
I was scared to death. Listen, at those days you didn't have to pay for something.
Harry, do you remember that?
Harry was the person that everybody had to go to, the younger ones, in case they did something wrong.
And
I tell you, they used to say, "You're going to have to go see Harry." And then Harry would say to me, and Harry would say to me, "I don't want this to happen again. I want you in on time. I don't want you staying out late."
These stories
Wait a second.
are not very interesting anymore.
Aren't they?
Can't you think of something really interesting?
I think
Remember you're the one about him?
I think it's very interesting.
There was a mouse in our house. and the trap came down and caught his tail in it. And the poor thing is squeaking, So Mom says to Harry, "I'll boil some water, you'll pour it on him and he'll die. And then you'll take him outside and bury him." Oh, Harry says, "Don't do that, I'll take him out. I'll make sure he won't come back into the house." Takes him to the backyard, takes the thing off, and the mouse looks at him and goes back into the house. Yes, he did. That's a long story.
I never heard that story.
What are we going to do for this?
That's where I was.
Story, good idea.
Let's tell lies.
You tell him.
Wait a second. How about Ann to tell a story?
And
Our Ann.
She already told her.
Ann, tell the story, Ann. Tell the story about the chicken bones.
Oh, that was a good one.
With Melvin.
Yeah, I'll tell her.
I don't remember. Tell the story about the chicken. Irene, you remember.
No, I don't.
What about
He
that?
didn't.
Why don't you tell
Chicken
the
bones.
story?
I know you told me a story about chicken bones in a drawer. What happened? You tell the story.
I was out of the house. I was
Watch the
married.
dog.
When you watched the
Oh,
dog.
Garney's dog, that Denny,
Yeah.
that big shepherd dog.
Oh, yeah, they had
They go on
beautiful
vacation.
dogs.
He'd give me a nickel a day to watch the dog, and I used to have to get food from the house, like leftovers. I'd give him chicken bones. I'd give him everything. You know.
Did he choke?
No, he used to play with his Zepp with
Hey,
Now
you know,
that's
I
really
want to tell you a story about my father.
Beat up.
I got to put Benjamin in this thing.
Here's a story about Benjie.
Oh,
That black,
they
the
made a
Belgian
date,
police
the
dog.
Golden
Belgian
Twins.
police dog.
Made a
Dog,
date.
no, they used to run around. The two dogs used to
with
run around and
Sil-
kill
no,
all the
with
cats.
Sylvia,
in the
they come
neighborhood.
Oh, yeah. Sam was taking Sylvia out,
Papa.
and he made a date for
The bell.
Oh, you know what she's thinking about?
Golden
You're
Twins.
thinking about
One of the
peanuts.
Francis Golden or something.
And a mouse came out.
Yeah.
There was do you remember it was a Friday, and I had bought a bag of peanuts, and I put them in a drawer, and I forgot all about them. 2 weeks
I think
later,
that's too
it was a
personal.
Friday night.
Personal. This is the Singer family.
I remembered about the peanuts. You girls were washing dishes in the kitchen.
It wasn't chicken bones.
Where else would we be?
Well, anyway, so I go in and I remember about the peanuts. I go and get the bag, and I stick my hand in the bag, and there's something soft, and a little mouse comes out of my hand. Well, I get, I went like this, and the mouse is running around. I don't know where to go, and you girls are screaming and
Not me.
I don't
wasn't
know.
there.
Huh?
It was probably Edie and Rhoda.
These two bad ones.
Probably
Sylvia.
Sylvia, yeah.
They jumped on the
They
chairs.
jumped on the chairs in the kitchen chairs.
I have a funny story to tell about Edie. She used to come up to the lake all the time. And we had a gerbil.
We had what?
Did we have a gerbil?
Yes.
Harold?
Hamster.
A hamster.
Wake up.
A hamster. And in a bag, I had these little things that looked like silver tops. Only they didn't have...
Hershey's Kisses.
Yeah, the Hershey's Kisses only didn't have the paper on it. And she's walking around looking for something to eat, and she goes into the cupboard. She comes out and she's chewing on these damn things, and she says,
Look at that.
"Oh God, this candy is so
Hey,
stale."
look, take a picture of the
My
almonds.
kids have
Come
never
on.
forgotten that.
Well, I hope everybody's not dizzy from this.
She was eating hamster food.
I didn't know.
We gotta take a picture of the audience here.
Tell the matinee story.
Now tell the one about the dog, the time that
Hold on a second. Hold on. Hold on.
The best story about Nat is when our father had this shop on 6th Street,
Yeah.
right across from the old Gaiety Theater, which is now the Fulton. And I always at the shop because at that time my father thought I might be a tailor. In fact, after a bit, I thought I was going to, his plans for me would actually come to fruition. So it was about a week, it was several weeks before Christmas. It was cold. And Littman Elbaum came into the store, the shop, and he says, "Barrow, you have to drop everything. You have to drop everything and come out." So my father says, "Well, what's wrong? Is it bad?" And so Lippman says, "I don't know whether it's bad or good, but come out," which we did. And my father grabs hold of me, thinking perhaps he might need me. We ran up to where, right at this today, I guess it's the Heinz Hall is there. Before it was a Pittsburgh Life building, corner 6th and Liberty.
Heinz Hall was the Lowe's Pen.
No. And as we approached, there was a crowd of people, and as we got closer, we could hear this piping voice. "All right, folks, 35 cents, 3 for $1. You throw it up in the air, and it comes down and
Lands on its feet.
And we got in there, and there was Nat.
That's our brother.
Nat,
He's gone.
God, how old is he? Couldn't have been more than 10.
He was a businessman.
And he was a pretty boy. He had, he had all his hair and his blonde, blue eye, the whole, just like that picture of that you have of Nicholas. And he had an apron, and he had
Money
these
apron.
balloons, which if you blow up, they come into it turns into a Santa Claus, and it's weighted. You throw it up in the air, and it does land on its feet. But he sold them 35 cents each, 3 for $1, and people were standing there in trance with this piping voice. And my father's looking at him. He said to me, "What should we do? Shall we take him home?" I says, "Hell no, leave him there." That's that.
He was a great businessman. He was terrific. When there were holidays, there was this guy that give us things to go, take us out to parks. We'd sell stuff, like stuff like that. And I remember,
Steal stuff?
No, they used
then at the end of the day, we'd square up with a guy who supplied us with the stuff. And I'd square up and give him my money. And he'd give me $1 or $2. And Nat says to me, "You're crazy." He said, "Why did you give him so much money? All that money back?" I said, "What did you do, Nat?" He says, "Well, I made a sell for 15 cents. I put a nickel in my back pocket."
Not to
Not to give it. And,
Well, I think we ought to tell. I ought to tell.
he says, "I made $50."
I think I ought to tell the story about
we can tell a
the
story
senior
about
member
the older
of
girls.
the
We were
family.
very goody-goody.
My father, our father. You know, we always had a questionable attitude towards immigrant parents. After all, my father was not a very imposing-looking guy. As a matter of fact, he had one
was
leg
round
was a
and
little
fat
short,
and
he
fully
walked,
packed.
and somehow or other we never.
He was a handsome guy.
I didn't say he was.
Oh,
I
he
talked about
he
imposing.
didn't have any hair.
And
He was rotund. That's it.
at that point, I had completed my work at night school, and I was eligible for a teaching job and was having no success at all. I remember going up and down all the 3 rivers, and every school system nipped. And finally went to Pup. I says, "Well, Pup, I guess your prediction is true. I think I will become a tailor." He says, "What's wrong?" And I told him. He says, "You want a teaching job?" I says, "That's what I said." He says, "And I will get you a teaching job."
And he
says,
did.
"You
This is
follow.
a foreign
This
guy.
is actually
Don't
this
abbreviate
actually
the
happened."
story.
He says, "Now you come down to me, and what do you need?" I says, "I need a character reference. You know, I have plenty of references there, but that don't mean a thing. I need an important person." He says, "That's fine. I will introduce you to His Honorable." Now, His Honorable was a federal judge. His name was Rogers Knox, a federal judge. And Rogers Knox, it didn't sound Jewish to me. I says, "Pa, what are you going to do?" He said, "I will introduce you to him, and you tell him what you want. It's as simple as that." So I figured, geez, what the hell? I have nothing to lose. He says, "We'll get down," and we didn't have a car. We went down on a truck on the 7th floor of the federal building, which is still there. That was the court, that was where the federal hearings were held. I went up there, and this is the courthouse, and there's a long corridor besides the court, and the end of which there's a room. On the right side is the judge's chamber, and in front of the judge's chamber is where the judge sat and heard when the proceedings went. So I'm walking behind my father, and I'm thinking to myself, I'm getting ready to run. And as we got closer to this door, the judge's secretary was standing there, and he sees my father, and he says, Bunny, as a matter of fact, His Honor would talk to me, and he asked me to call you because he needs some work on some of his clothes. My father made his garments. So I felt a little comfortable, and I walked in with my father, but we didn't sit in that waiting room. He took us behind the judge's chamber. sitting there in this prestigious place. And then the judge, after a bit, the judge came out, and when I saw, and incidentally, the judge is the same size as my father, a little rotund, a real Scotchman, and he looks at my father and he puts his arm around him. I thought they were long-lost brothers. And I thought to myself, my father never talked about his acquaintances. And they sit and talk, but the judge, first of all, went to his cabinet and took out a bottle of scotch. My father never drank scotch, except under certain circumstances. And he poured a drink for my father and him, and he said,
Never knew that part.
oh yeah, had a drink. And they talked about old times for a while. And then my father turns, the judge turns to me and very casually points to that and he says, who's this? He says, that's my oldest son. He would like to ask a question. And so I went over to him and he says, well, son, and I didn't open my mouth. He says, now, if you want a job with the postal department, there are a lot of jobs in the federal government. I'll be very happy to see what I could do for you. And I hadn't asked him for anything yet until he gave me a chance. And he says, well, what is it? I said, well, if I could get a character reference from you, I've applied, I have an application in for a teaching job in the Pittsburgh schools, and I have had no response. He says, fine. He says, good. Your name is your whole name, and I gave him the information. When he said to me, now I'll see that Dr. Weber gets this. Dr. Weber at that point was the superintendent of personnel. I would say within a week, I start getting jobs, calls for substitute teaching. After all, this was February or March. And with another 2 or 3 weeks, I had a letter. Dear Mr. Singer, you have been recommended by the superintendent for appointment as a teacher of mathematics and English at Allegheny Summer High School. And then it went on to say, subject to the approval of the Board of Education. I'm looking at this thing 3 weeks prior to his honorable giving me this, giving me permission to use his name for a character reference. That's the point of the story. It's not that I got the job, and I really did move pretty fast after that. Here's my father, who still didn't know how to address him, and still the judge never corrected him, and I kept on saying, Pa, it's his honor. And my father would say, you tell it your way, and I'll tell it my way.
It's honorable.
It's honorable.
Oh, I love the moral of that story is not what you know. Good work. Keep busy, happy, good health.
We're gonna count.
What'd she say?
Nancy, my husband twice I had to go, and I think I have it all set up, but it's always on the map.
There's a dog.
If I have, if you
There's a dog. I mean, there's a
I don't mean it
child.
that way, I would prefer
What
to
a
be in
great
your
child.
own house.
She's telling us
Do you know what I mean?
Nancy doesn't know what to say.
I mean, the only thing is she.
I mean, she doesn't know what to say.
Come walk upstairs for a minute.
She always believes her.
She's still saying goodbye. We have to just get my.
Nancy?
Anybody else wants them today?
They can't even use them.
Let's see, it's the end of the picnic. What's left of the food here?
They
I
devoured
did it
it.
in 4 pictures.
You should have the bone.
But that's not fair, is it?
I told her she got the bone.
Well, his mother's getting it. Oh, no, I'm getting it.
You want?
I'm about ready to go.
Give me have the word beta. Write it down.
Let me just wipe this, wash this pan
I want to tell you something. When I mentioned my name there, and that they was flabbergasted.
Grade bought it for $75.
It's the beta.
There's 20 tapes and there's a VCR. And it's beta tape.
plate is this?
That's,
There's 20 tapes and a VCR, but these tapes are beta tapes.
Yeah.
And that way.
I don't know.
So he has a VCR.
Yeah.
Oh, so he has a VCR
But
and
only
he
beta will fit in them.
I don't know.
And
is that-
beta you can't use it. I don't know.
Beta's out of style. They
Okay, tell him. Will you tell him about it?
And he paid $75 for it.
Yeah.
Well, let me see if I can find something.
Wait, we're gonna give you this.
Yeah.
And I'll put it on here.
Right on here.
If Annie wants some, you know where, she knows where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, right here.
Yeah, right here.
Bye, sweetie. I'll see you next year.
All right. Take care.
Take care of yourself.
So long, Will.
You well?
We'll be up in
the fall maybe, honey.
It would be nice.
Either that or you come down.
No, you come up.
Maybe, yeah. I'll try.
Be careful, Micah.
I'm going home now.
Give Mel a kiss, Micah.
She's so sweet.
That's adorable.
I have to totally agree with you. I can't even argue. You don't take so many pictures of me. Take it to her. Micah, you want to do dancing with Papa? You don't want to do when the sun goes down and the moon comes up. Hey, baby, come on.
She liked the shut doors, I remember.
Yeah, always. Micah, people might want to come in. I don't think we should. Robbie, Micah has attached herself to a few cars in your house.
See, she's in there.
So
We need her.
what do you? Maxine, I'm leaving.
Gertie.
Bye.
Hey, John.
Yeah.
Why don't you bring Gertie out here? We'll bring Dad in. Tell Gertie
Oh, she's gonna, you know.
Dad wants to come in.
Oh, he does?
Maxine, I'm leaving.
Come on, dear. I got you.
But where's Ann? You're not getting me.
Of course, you're the center of attention now.
No, go over and give her a hug and a kiss.
Rhoda, how late are you staying here?
I don't know why everybody's rushing.
Well, we're leaving.
We wouldn't stay. But Nancy is afraid to drive in the dark. Nancy.
But what?
And she follows us. I would have stayed.
I can show Nancy. Why are you
Max
very
knows.
well?
Or let
So
me ask.
if we get separated, I can show
What
her.
stay? I would like to. All right, wait, let me talk.
What's broken? It is.
I don't know who we're going home with.
Who you don't know? This way. This way?
Whoa.
Well, we'll go this way beside
So
you.
long, everybody.
So long, man.
Mark.
Okay. I'm gonna get you on.
Wait a minute. Mark. Mark. So long. I can't walk out.
Well, see, that was his plus.
I am. I'm gonna get you on.
John,
Come on.
come on out here.
Okay.
Nancy, we gotta do something about getting to know these kids.
What?
Stay without ring.
Put you on that car.
They're so sweet. I'm gonna tell Rachel to call Faye. See, they would be very interested. They have a lot in common. They love the arts and things like that.
Maybe that's where you'll be.
Yeah, I will. I don't know.
It's fire. Why don't you dance with Papa?
No?
We don't need a band. We can dance by the clapping of the hands.
Come on, dance. You take Piggy and dance. Everybody wants to see you dance. Okay, here we go.
Wouldn't it?
Come on. Here, Papa, go
Yes,
ahead.
she
She's
wants to
ready.
be the band.
I can dance. Come on.
Come on, Micah, here. Micah,
when the sun goes down and the night comes up. Da-di-da-di-da-di-da-di-da-da-da. Hey,
doesn't know the words. It's like that commercial. Na na na
On the
na
Mississippi, on the Mississippi.
One of those commercials that start off singing and then
On Papa's lap.
Is this one of those chairs?
Yes, be careful when you sit in it.
You got to put your rear end right in the loop.
You've got to have faith.
Move over to me a little bit.
Boom.
You're very good.
Is there something wet underneath? What a dance do they do? Lottie, how I'm telling you. They don't need no band.
Come on, Micah.
They can dance by the clapping of the hands.
That's
Leave
really
it there,
good.
Micah.
Oh,
Leave it
wow.
there. Just wipe it off.
Really
Just wipe it, it's all
dirty.
right.
Oh, it's disgusting.
They can dance.
Sophie, come on. Sophie.
Come on, Micah. Hey, Uncle Jim.
Come on, Micah. Let's go. Come on. Come here. I want to talk to you, Micah.
Did she see a critter?
Come here. What is it, Micah?
Sophie, come here.
I don't care how.
They don't need no
You better
band.
not fool around with those critters.
I'm holding you for you. I want to hold it for you. Because you'll lose it.
No, I don't. I'm trying to get rid of them. Corn?
I'll hold it.
Oh my God.
You can't have two at one time.
Is that the one you sneezed on?
Especially
No,
after
these are fresh out of the pot.
Freeze them, Robbie.
Oh, God, what's that? But
No, thank you.
I didn't know whether to take one or not. I really didn't want it.
Want a piece of corn,
then
Micah?
settled the
Hey,
Come
Mike.
here, let's put
Piggy wants
the
the
corn on the
sucker.
fire. Come here.
Harry with that
The
piggy.
fire.
Take
Come here,
a
let's
picture
put
of
the corn
that.
on the
I got a picture of him.
Did you? You know, she wet I was at the Cape, and my father comes out of his bedroom, and he says, his bed's wet. And he starts raising hell with me about my dog. And she comes up the stairs and says, Travis didn't do it, Piggy did.
That's cute. Good story.
Piggy gets blamed for a lot of stuff.
Well, rightly so.
I know.
To get to the altar.
Yes.
Yeah, really. She.
Hot.
Piggy's hungry. Piggy has to pee-pee. Oh, yeah.
Teeth. No, you're supposed to suck
You're supposed to suck on those,
Suck
not
on it,
bite
don't
it,
bite.
remember?
Suck, don't bite.
I've seen some dogs get messed up by groundhogs.
Oh, yes.
Even
groundhogs will attack her. She's not
Yeah.
hyper.
If they get cornered.
They get cornered. Sure.
Energetic.
She's a very calm
Jackie.
child.
She just is, she's got a lot of energy. But she's not, no, she's not a hyper kid. But her energy level is. And then her curiosity level's high, which leads to a disaster.
No, but her energy.
She
asks a lot of questions.
Yeah, I'd
Don't,
say
Dad,
so.
don't get her going like that.
Emily's like that too.
See? Hi, Mark. This is your nephew Benjie calling, or actually making a tape. I'm apologizing for taking so long to get this recording to you. I put it in a pile with about 10 other tapes, and none of them were marked, so it took me a while to go through all the tapes and make sure that I indeed had the right one for you. I hope this tape finds you in good health, and I hope you enjoy watching your family. Next time we have a picnic or a get-together, I'm going to bring a tripod so I can spend more time filming, and I thought it was real nice the way everybody told the story. So next family get-together, make sure you make sure I'm there, and I'll make sure that you have a copy of the recording quicker this time. So hope to hear from you, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye.